My name is Shanee Miller. I moved over to Lake Orion a little over a year ago. I grew up in Lapeer, raised my kids in Lapeer, and I had met somebody and moved out to New Baltimore with them. Um, Unfortunately, that didn't work out, so I moved back over here. My parents are here, my sister is here. Just getting to know the area, driving around, and then I take Joslyn Road up to my parents, and I noticed Woodside, and just kind of, it's just the energy from it, you know. I just noticed it and then kept driving by, and I just told my sister, told a couple of my friends, I'm like, I gotta check this place out. There's something about it. I need to go in there. I need to check it out. It just wasn't the time last year for me to do that yet. And then in April, when everybody was quarantined and everything was shut down, I was a little emotional and thought, I think I need to check it out. So I went on the website, filled out the card, and John Dalkey called me. He prayed with me, told me to listen to the service, and I did that day, and that service it really hit my heart. It hit close. Pastor Chris was talking about, you know, you've heard of Jesus, you hear people talk about him. Do you know him? Do you actually know him? And I'm like, I don't know him at all. I have a lot to learn. John Dalkey wanted me to call him back. So I called him back and we talked about it, and I was very emotional. He prayed with me again. And I just accepted Jesus into my life at that moment. That was it. And this is really hard. I'm sorry. It was a really emotional day because I think that was the best thing that I've done. My life has changed since then. There's been a lot that has changed positively. Like, I talk to Jesus a lot, almost every day on my car ride to work. I remember talking to John and telling him, I don't know if I know how to pray. I don't know if I'm doing it right. Is there a certain way that I'm supposed to do this? And he said, nope, just talk to him like he's your everyday friend. Just talk to him. And I do. You know, and then there are some days I'm sure he's probably laughing at me like, I have no idea what you're saying. But he does. He hears me. I wasn't really raised in church, but my father got me a Bible. He had my name inscribed on the bottom corner after my mom passed away. And he told me, he said, this is for you to keep close to you. And I brought it out every once in a while, but I haven't, and it's been quite a few years. It's been stored in the garage in a box. And that day that I decided that it was time for me to accept Jesus in my life, I went out to the garage and I got that Bible out of the box. I don't think I'm ever going to put it back in a box. I used to be kind of really negative when people would speak to me, or I always saw the downside of it. But going over to my parents every time, like my dad now, he says, every time I talk to you, he said, it's different. He said, you have more of a positive outlook. Your attitude is more positive. You're looking at things a little differently. He said, it's just, you've changed. He said, and it's for the good, you know. He said, whatever is happening right now, he says, I think this was the best thing you could have done.
Wow, what an amazing story of life transformation. You know, as I listen to Shanee's story, it reminds me of the fact that there are so many in our community and our world that are desperately looking for the love and the hope that is found in Jesus. You know, 2020 has thrown a lot at us, a whole lot of difficulty that could have caused a lot of people to call a timeout or to sit on the sidelines. I want to say thank you for staying in the game, for showing that the gospel never stops and that the Great Commission is always on the move. You know, through our efforts here at Woodside, by God's grace, we have touched the lives of thousands throughout our community, through our in-person gatherings, through our life groups, and yes, through our service to first responders and medical workers and the children and youth in our neighborhoods. I'm so grateful for your commitment to our church and to the glory of Christ in all things. But you know, this story highlights the power of our digital ministries that God has given us as a tool for both evangelism and discipleship. One day, this pandemic will be but a story that we'll tell our children. But when that day is here, the one thing we do know is that digital will still be a tool that is desperately needed to reach the world. Recently, our church leadership made a decision to make a major investment into our digital platforms so that we can reach even more with the good news of Jesus Christ. We're asking you to prayerfully consider partnering with us. If you want to hear more stories of life transformation, like we just heard from our dear sister, I would ask for you to visit our website today. Go to woodsidebiblechurch.org and you can learn more about what God is doing through our digital platforms, our in-person gatherings, our life groups, and Woodside Cares. Just know that I love you and I'm so excited about what God is doing in our midst. I also want you to reserve on your calendar 2 important dates. One is October 4th. That's our upcoming annual meeting. We'll reflect on what God has done, hear stories of God at work in our midst. We'll also handle some of the business affairs of the church, but more importantly, we'll talk about what God has for our future. And also, if you haven't signed up for our fall kickoff, do it today. Across many of our campuses, children programs, kids programs, as well as our student programs are coming back, and you should be fired up about that. I know your kids are. So please make sure you sign up and visit our website. God bless, and let's enjoy this great day.